Thank you for joining us for another Boston Indicators video briefing. My name is Ann Calef, and I'm a research manager with Boston Indicators. And today I'll be sharing with you findings from our new report, Along the Road Home, a racial equity analysis of homeownership support programs in Massachusetts. The report is divided into three core sections, the first being a landscape scan of the different programs and policies that exist within the state to expand access to homeownership. The second being a deep dive into several core programs in the state. And finally, our third section are findings and concluding policy thoughts about how we could build on the great foundation that we already have here in the Commonwealth. To jump into the landscape scan, it became clear early in our research that there was a lot of confusion around the different types of programs and policies that exist in the state to support homeownership access. And so we decided to put together this graphic that I'll share with you all to kind of make sense of these different programs that exist. For the purpose of our landscape scan, we broke these programs and policies into two main categories. The first being demand-side interventions that work directly with the prospective home buyer to support them in their purchase of a home. And the second being supply-side interventions that work on the other end and really support the creation of new affordable owner-occupied housing units. And here I should note that when I say affordable, I really do mean homes that are available at below market prices to income qualifying prospective home buyers. So to focus on demand side interventions first, this could include affordable loan products. These are loan products that have more inclusive underwriting requirements so that someone who might not qualify for a conventional mortgage is still able to get one. So having reduced credit requirements, for example, or a smaller required down payment. There are a lot of affordable loan products out there, including some that are supported by the federal government, some that are supported by private banks. And here in Massachusetts, we have two key programs, the first being mass housing loans, and the second being One Mortgage administered by the Massachusetts Housing Partnership. Within demand-side interventions, we also have down payment assistance programs, and these are loans or grants, more often grants, that homeowners can receive to help cover their down payment or their closing costs. Again, these can come from many different sources. Many cities and towns in the state operate their own municipal level down payment assistance programs. The Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston has several down payment assistance programs. And in Massachusetts, we have the Mass Dreams program that was launched in the fall of 2022 to provide, again, down payment assistance and closing cost assistance to qualifying home buyers. Within demand-side interventions, we also have savings and asset building programs, and these help prospective home buyers save for the costs associated with purchasing a home. One great example of this is MAHA's, or Massachusetts Affordable Housing Alliance's STASH program that we do a deeper dive into in the later sections of the report. Finally, demand-side interventions can include informational programs and products, such as first-time homebuyer courses or first-time homebuyer counseling programs. Turning now to supply-side interventions, I do want to reiterate that when we use this phrase, we aren't talking about the construction of new market rate housing units, but rather are really focused on the creation of new units that are made available at below market rate prices to income qualifying families. There are many ways that we can support the creation of affordable owner-occupied housing, and one way is through shared equity strategies. With shared equity strategies, families are able to purchase a home at below market rate prices in exchange for limiting their potential capital gains when the home is resold. Some examples of such strategies include community land trusts or limited equity co-ops. In Massachusetts, there are also a number of funds that can be used to develop affordable homeownership units. Some of these are federal funds, such as the HUD Home Funds or their Community Development Block Grant Program. We also have a number of state funds that can be used to develop affordable owner-occupied housing, and some cities and towns choose to develop their own funds, often using their Community Preservation Act funds. It's important to note, though, that these funds can be used for other projects as well, and often are used more for the construction of new rental housing than they are for the construction of new homeownership units. In Massachusetts, we're lucky enough to have exactly one fund that does exclusively support the development of affordable homeownership units, and that is the Commonwealth Builder Program, which we profile in depth in the second section of our report. And finally, we have zoning-based strategies that can similarly support the creation of affordable owner-occupied housing, but this time without the infusion of cash And some examples of this include inclusionary zoning that is enacted at the municipal level, and it gives developers certain either incentives or requires developers to set aside or construct a certain amount of affordable housing units. And we also have the state's 40B program. Both of these can also be used for the construction of affordable rental units, but in some cases have been used to support the development of affordable homeownership units. And we do profile Chapter 40B in detail in the report. So this is a quick overview of the different programs and policies that exist to support affordable homeownership in Massachusetts. And please check out the report if you have any additional questions and to learn more about each of these sticky notes. Thank you.